Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time I'm coming across my channel here on YouTube, you're welcome. I'm Kenzie and I'm a nursing student. I'm a final year nursing student currently based in Nigeria. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my story of the story of how I was almost kidnapped in Abuja. Anyways, I can't do this video alone. It has to be accompanied by something, and I have my mini juicer here. This is a mixture of banana, peanut butter, milk, my Hollandia milk, and then oatmeal. I'm just going to be snacking on this while I narrate this juicy story to you guys. So it all started when I went to Abuja. Firstly, before I went to Abuja, I had many things I wanted to do in mind. I searched on Instagram to see the vendors I could be using for most of the things I was going to be doing. That was the more reason why I left earlier. I left for Abuja a week before that event. So the event was supposed to be on a Saturday, and I left for Abuja on Sunday. The original plan was actually for me to go to Abuja on Tuesday. I hope my mouth is not already messed up. But due to some unforeseen circumstance, I had to push it backwards to Sunday. So I went to Abuja and I settled in. I looked at everywhere. I first of all asked my sister what she wanted me to be doing for her, and she told me the list of things that she would have me do for her. And I also told her that, see, I did not just come here to serve you. I also came to serve myself. So in as much as you want me to do something for you, or in as much as I want to also do something for you, you have to tell me beforehand. So for example, if you want me to help you print invitations, you have to tell me that, you have to tell me today that tomorrow you'll be helping me go to the cyber cafe to print something. That way I'll be able to also put you inside my program and also put myself inside my own program. I don't know if that's making sense, but that was actually how it is. So I went to Abuja and I had in mind that I was going to go for body sculpting. For the longest of time, I've always avoided clothes that are bodycon because my tummy is not actually in the best state. For some people, it's normal. Like my sister is one person that always feels like my tummy is just perfect. But for me that have the body, I know my body, like I know my tummy is not perfect. So I try to avoid clothes that are actually going to make my tummy very visible. So the clothes I wanted to wear for that event was actually a flea. And I intentionally picked a flea. And the reason why I picked that flea was because I don't want my belly, I don't want my tummy to be out there to the world. I don't want everybody to know that I have a big tummy. Like, not like my tummy is so big, but it's not on the flat side, you get. So I booked this section for the body sculpting. I met them on Instagram and I checked them. I checked the price. They were one of the most affordable prices I saw on Instagram. So I decided to use them actually for this process. And then I booked a session with them. And the first session was supposed to be for Monday morning. So I left that Monday morning. Whilst I was going, I did not inform my sister where I was going to. I didn't tell her where I was going to. I just told her I had an appointment with someone that I had to meet up with. So I have to go now. And she was like, okay, go well, come back. Make sure when you come back, you do my work, like you do what I've asked you to do. And I was like, no problem. I'm going to do them perfectly. And I left. The reason why I did not tell my sister where I was going to was because, of course, my sister is not, she's a fan of my tummy. Like, whenever I wear something and I am like, oh, my tummy is too big, she's always going to tell me that your tummy is not big, you are normal. I don't understand. What is this? My sister is trying to compare me with herself. And she has forgotten that she has given birth to 2 children. She's even pregnant with another one. How does she want my tummy to actually look like hers? That is what I don't understand. And that's what I keep telling her. But she doesn't understand. So me that have my body, me that have been seeing people my age, although it's not like that, child, but I just feel like my tummy is just too big. So I didn't tell her I was going for that body sculpting because I know she's not going to be in support. She's going to tell me that my body is perfect, that my tummy is just the perfect definition of a dream girl. So I didn't even tell her because I don't want all those sisterly advice and all those godly advice. So I decided to do my things my way. I left for the session that day. The session was for 10 a.m. So I left around 9 o'clock ish and I went. The location was actually in zone 4. And because it's It has been like 4 years since I last visited Abuja, or 3 years since I last visited Abuja, especially that central area place. So I am not really used to that place anymore. So when I got to Use Market, I had to book a boat that would take me to that place. So going there, like locating the particular address I was going to was not really the problem, because when I got to Use Market, I used a boat to actually get to my proper destination. But when I was coming back was now where the problem was. I finished my session by like after one, and that was my first and last session. The experience was not just it at all. The experience was just bloody. I think I'm going to do that story time because I don't know. So I finished my section around after one, and I started wanting to go back home. I had already mastered the environment to the best of my ability. I also asked some people, some passerby questions, and they directed me to where I was going to be taking a cab or a bus to my destination. So I went back to the place where I was supposed to go back home from, and then I saw a cab. In Abuja, there are big buses and then there are small cars, like private cars or like cab, the car. So I didn't want to take the big buses because those ones, they're actually going to take you around the whole of Abuja. They're going to tour you around. It is going to take you 45 minutes to get to where you want to go to. With that big bus, 2 hours, you're still on your way. So I decided that, oh, since I've spent enough time in my session, I think I want to do cars. So I'm going to get to where I want to go to, and also do the things that my sister wants me to do for her on time. So that was how I ignored all the buses that came to my way. They told me enter. I told them no, I'm not going. So that was how I waited till a car came. A car came and I actually entered. I am very careful about the kind of cars I enter. Whenever I want to enter a vehicle, whether a car, whether a bus, I like to observe the people that are inside. If I see that their faces are not even friendly, I don't enter. If I see that there are so many guys than women, I don't enter. So I just try to, I don't know, I just try to observe everywhere around me and then know if it is convenient for me. If it is not convenient, I don't enter at all. So that was the same process I did for that car. I checked everywhere. 3 people were already at the back seat, and the driver was in front and another guy was in the passenger seat in front. So they were in total, they were four men and one female. And the woman, she was a woman, like she was an elderly woman. She was sitting in between the 2 guys at the back seat. So okay, I was like, okay, I was going to join them because in Abuja, not in Abuja, everywhere, any car, they carry 4 at the back because they were already 3. I was supposed to make them 4. So I was going to join them, but the guy in front offered, like, he opened his own front seat for me. So I'm going to, so he wanted me to join him, so we'll be 2 there. So I was like, okay, this front seat is not so bad. So I entered. So when I entered, I was carrying my tote bag. Where is that tote bag, safe? So this was the bag I was actually carrying, and inside this bag I had the cash I was going to use for the whole thing that my sister sent me. It was just 10,000 naira. I had my power bank, I had my phone, I had my ATM card. There was nothing so spectacular or nothing valuable to say about what I was carrying in my bag. So when I entered, I jammed the door. I closed the door behind me. I was sitting very close to the door. Funny enough, or thank God, the guy in front did not actually allow me sit inside. He was kind enough to actually adjust himself to the driver's side and let me sit very close to the door, so I was in control of the door. That was just my saving point. So when I sat, I tried to close the door, but the door was not closing. So the driver moved, and then he told me that I shouldn't worry about the door, that when he gets to another traffic point, is going to stop so that he will try to close the door. So I was like, okay, perfect. So he just asked me to hold the door. So the door was not closed, the door was not jammed, but I was using my hand to support the door. So I was using this right hand to support the door while I hold my bag with my left hand. My phone was actually in my bag. I mean, every other thing was in my bag. We got past the traffic light, and the guy actually did not stop. So I tried closing it. He was instructing me on how to close the door, because the door seemed not to be the normal kind of car door that you just jam. You have to move it up and jam. So the guy was telling me to move it up, and this one of them, they were now the ones that were directing me, move the car up and jam it, move the car up and jam it. And I was trying to move the car up and jam it. So they were telling me that you cannot use your one hand to move this car up and jam. You have to involve your 2 hands. Another thing is that I think it was not a matter of kidnapping, it was more of theft or 419 thing than kidnapping. So the time they were telling me to use my two hands, to use this other hand to jack the door up, like to lift the door up, while I use this other hand to jam it. So while I was busy struggling to understand their instruction and follow their instruction carefully, the driver was actually trying to pull my own bag. So being the smart girl that I am, I kept my bag under my axilla. I was trying to use my right hand to jack the door up while I use my left hand to bring the door closer so it can jam, with my bag well secured in place. But my driver was busy dragging my own bag from this point. So when he dragged the bag, me, I'll not look at him. I'll now drag the bag closer to me and do the same thing, and tries to do the same thing. And then he is there trying to drag it. So at a point, I looked at him. He tried it like twice. He tried dragging the bag out like twice. And at the point, I had to stop and look at him. I was not like, oh God, I don't understand. What kind of door is this? Why can't you just calm down and lock your door by yourself? So that was when he now told me that, but I've been trying to tell you, just calm down, drag the door, and that was when I just told him, okay, you know what? Wait. I just opened the door and I just carried my bag and I came down and I jammed the door. Immediately I jammed the door. That was how they zoomed off. So as I zoomed off, I just stood there and I was looking at them going. It took me like 3 minutes for me to come back to my senses to actually start saying what just happened. I just start asking myself what just happened. And then I remember, oh, my bag is here, and I checked in my bag. I first of all, I examined the extremities of my bag to be sure that nothing is off, because in Lagos, they've done this one to my mom. She actually went to the market with a bag like this, only for her to come back to the house and see that they've turned the bag and collected the contents. So in Lagos, they don't have to carry, like, like in Lagos markets, Oyingbo market, all these markets where it's very busy, Eco market, that's where they do these things. They don't really have to take your bag for you to know that they've stolen everything. They will just use a razor blade. They move around with razor blade or scissors. They cut your bag, remove the remove the valuables, and then they let you carry your bag. So when you go to the place that you're supposed to get to, and then you want to remove something from your bag, that's when you discover that egba me. So that was how, as I stood there for some time, I actually started asking myself, what just happened? Why were those people trying to take my bag? Why was I trying to lock the door? Why did I suddenly drop? Why did they move on like that? I checked the contents of my bag. I checked my phone. I checked the small money that was there. I checked my ATM. Everything was correct. Everything was intact. I checked the side of my bag, the extremities. Everything was perfect. Nothing was missing. I was just like, what would have happened if I did not come down? Or what would have happened if I was the one that was sitting close to the driver and the other guy was sitting outside? Does it mean that is either they would have carried me to where I don't know, they would have kidnapped me, or they would have stolen something from me? That was how I just started thanking God. Oh. And after that incident, after that small drama just happened, I had to carry myself and enter the same long bus I was running away from. It was inside that bus that I was now trying to evaluate and invest. I was not trying to imagine the whole scenario. I came up from here. I stood. I saw different buses. I said, no, I'm not going. I saw this one. I waved. He stopped. I entered. And they were... the analysis was just too much in my head. But then I was so grateful to God that nothing bad happened, because if something bad had happened, my sister doesn't know where I am. Nobody would have known where I am. I did not tell anybody. It is only the people that I came, like the people that I went to see, the people that are doing this body sculpting, that actually knew where I went to. So it would have just been a different story entirely. I'm so grateful that nothing happened. So please, if you are staying in any part of the world, I think Abuja is even the safest. Abuja is the safest city as far as I'm concerned. Abuja is just the coolest. If you're staying in cities like Benin, Lagos, Port Harcourt, Enugu, you have to be very careful. You have to be very prayerful. Whenever you are going out, please let people know where you are going to. And whenever you want to enter any vehicle, I mean, that should not be a new thing. It's something that has been going on. So nobody is supposed to all these things. They're supposed to be our normal etiquette before you even enter anybody's vehicle. You observe the environment. You see if the people are looking funny or not. You shall involve God. You need to have the Spirit of God to be able to discern these people. If not, just enter one chance. So guys, that's the end of my story. See you guys later.